Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Polkadot and just jump into the current price movement. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So I think the last time I spoke about DOT, it was maybe $4 or $5 or so. I've been accumulating it for a while. As I've said before, I think it's a worthwhile picking up a project that's fairly new to the space that you think will have a role to play this market cycle. As I've said before, I think Polkadot does have a role to play, and that is the reason I've been accumulating it for quite a while. Now it's starting to break out a little bit. Now it's over $7. With that said, it still hasn't made a definitive move against Bitcoin yet. If you look at the general trend, so far it has been down. Right, but it's also been straight up when it launched, okay? And it's hard to, it's not always fair to compare these because when the coin launches, there can often be like a FOMO pump where people just like irrationally put money into it because it's new to the space, okay? And this can happen in a lot of different coins. When Ethereum launched, it bled for a long time. Right? If you zoom in, it had a pretty nice move up, but then it bled for quite a while before kind of redeeming itself. And if we take a measured move from, say, the top of this candle, it took it around 147 days, and it dropped 68% against Bitcoin over 147 days. If you go back and look at DOT from, say, this candle here to down here, it's dropped around 65% over 115 days. So it's not always fair to necessarily discount something just because it's been trending down against Bitcoin in the short term. Because we know, right, when Bitcoin volatility is high, the altcoin market does not tend to do well, especially against Bitcoin. With that said, because Bitcoin has been performing relatively well, DOT has been doing fairly well against USD, which I know is what a lot of people care about. But really, it's important to also take a look at its Bitcoin valuation and its Ether valuation. So hopefully, this is the start of a new trend, just like we saw with Ethereum back in 2015, right? At the beginning of a completely new trend. Obviously, it's too early to call at this point, right? I mean, practically speaking, if you just take a step back, we can't necessarily say yet that this is a definitive momentum shift breakout, because at the end of the day, if Bitcoin were to all of a sudden rally to like 31K or something, then there's a good chance that in the short term, DOT might continue this downtrend. Okay, so we want to be cautiously optimistic. It's of course easier to be cautiously optimistic when the price against USD is still doing okay. Even though we want it to do well against Bitcoin, and we're sort of biding our time and hoping that it does have this breakout against Bitcoin. For now, we still just have to hang tight for a bit and see what happens here. If you look at its valuation against Ethereum, so let's switch over to a daily time frame here. A pretty similar type thing. If you take a look at the launch, it had this, it came onto the market, had this FOMO pump, and now it's essentially bled back down to where it was at the bottom. Almost, right? It's almost bled all the way back down. Ethereum did something very similar. In fact, Ethereum even bled lower from where, even if you go to the bottom of the wick, it came even below that. So let's just keep an eye on Polkadot, right? This is the fifth coin. We mainly talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Link, and ADA. This is the fifth coin that I've been talking about off and on for the last 4 or 5 months. I think it's worthwhile, in my opinion, to follow this coin. Now, with that said, I don't chase pumps. You guys know that. I'm not one for chasing a pump here. So, buying it now obviously comes with a lot more risk than buying it over the last 4 months when it was ranging at much lower valuations. So, again, we're just going to follow it. There's not a whole lot we can say about it quite yet, just because there's still not a ton of data. From launch, it still has only been around since August. So with that said, there's still not a whole lot we can say. If you look at the general DOT USD valuation, it is trending up, of course, right? It is generally trending up, and this is exactly what we want to see. The main thing to keep an eye out for now is it going to make a sustained move against Bitcoin, right, which is what we would want to see, and is it going to make a sustained move against Ethereum? If it can continue to, at some point, show that it can make a sustained move against Bitcoin and Ethereum, then it helps justify holding it, because we want it to ultimately outperform these other cryptocurrencies that are less volatile. Okay, so we're going to continue to keep an eye on Polkadot. Again, we don't have a ton of content on it yet, just because there's not a whole lot to look at. Really short price history. Maybe if we go over to like 4-hour time frames, it'll look like it's been around a lot longer. But at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, it's been in a general uptrend against USD since October. We've seen a slight breakout now, and in fact, we've gone all the way over up to around 734. These tops over here were closer to just shy of $7. So at least right now, I mean, it appears that we've broken our prior all-time high. It's great when you don't necessarily have these prior price histories looming over you, different milestones, different areas where sellers might be camping out to take profits from where they may be bought in and they just want to break even though of course they would have lost the time value of their money. But this is essentially what we're looking at right now, right? The sky's the limit to some degree. We have no idea how high Polkadot will take us this market cycle, but it's probably a good idea to just buckle up and enjoy the show. If you guys like the content, please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below if you want more videos on Polkadot or not. Turn on notifications, and I'll see you next time. Bye.